Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly Unfolding Word update. We'll be give you the normal weekly update. First of all, we're going to go to Jesse in technology. Jesse, go ahead.
Hello. So the big news this week is that we just got the Bible website up and running on bible.unfoldingword.org. So I'll post a link to that on the general channel, and you can go check it out. There's still some tweaks that we need to make to it, but we'll at least have it up there, and you can browse through the unlocked literal and unlocked dynamic Bible, as well as some other texts that are there. We'll add a link from the Unfolding Word website to that shortly as well. So if you have any feedback on that, of course, feel free to pass that along to us. In addition, the Translation Studio user interface is well on its way, the redesign of that. If you're interested in what it looks like, there is an alpha build available that you can go check out on GitHub. On the Translation Studio Slack channel, you can also see a few short videos that just demonstrate the animation and the interface a little bit. So we're hoping to have a beta later this week of that should be functional, bugs excluded. So go ahead and check it out. The whole goal behind that, by the way, was when we went to Ethiopia, myself and Tim Jory was there, and Sam Peckham, a user interface designer, were there. We went there for the express purpose of testing the user interface on Translation Studio and getting feedback from people over there in a completely different cultural context, completely different amount of technical skill. And it was clear to us just after the first couple tests that we needed to significantly change things. And so while we were over there, we drew up a whole bunch of screens and presented that as well to various people that are there, just the mock-ups of the new design. And the overwhelming response was that the new design is far more intuitive, far more easier to understand what's going on. And so that's why we're working on implementing this right now. And like I said, expect a beta later this week that you can play around with. Lastly, we are also working on getting the English audio and video for Open Bible Stories posted online and available on the unfoldingword.org/stories page. Probably a couple weeks out from that, but we are working on getting it there. So that's one of the directions we're heading in. So that's all I have. Thank you very much, Leo.
All right, yeah, and I've seen that video you're talking about for the new Translation Studio interface. It is pretty cool, so I definitely recommended viewership on that. Next will be Ben in the content side. Ben, take it away.
Hey everybody, a lot of good things happening. First of all, there's a lot of people that are wondering about the status of different projects that have been going on, that are going on, that are being created. And so we just created a new page that hopefully one of my buddies will put up on the Slack channel here, basically telling us the project status of a number of the different projects that we have ongoing. So Open Bible Stories in English is obviously done, as well as translation notes and words and questions for Open Bible Stories. But a lot of the other component parts, especially of the Bible, are still being developed, a lot bigger task there. And so we have some target dates listed there, so you can kind of see when it's projected to be done for those different projects. Update on the Translation Academy, specifically the process manual. I was hoping to have it done by today. I am about 2 web pages short of being able to get the rough draft of that done, so that will be done this week. So that's going to be a very good thing, very helpful thing, hopefully. I was asked to describe a little bit about Translation Academy, what it is, and what it's intended to do. So first of all, Translation Academy is the training part of what we do. Training on translation, on checking, on how to use the tools that we have created. So there are 5 main parts. The first part is just the introduction, the big picture overview of who we are, what we do. It includes the statement of faith, the translation guidelines, the open license, just kind of the core of who we are, what we're all about, what Door 43 and Translation Studio and Unfolding Word is all about. The second section then is the translation manual, and this is split up into two parts. The first part is kind of the much more core, very, very central to translation, and that covers a lot of the translation theory, what translation is, what is a good translation consist of, what doesn't it consist of. It also dives in a little bit into the translation guidelines, explaining in more detail what they are all about, what they actually mean. Then it gets into, later on, it gets into actual specifics. So how do you translate an abstract noun? And so translation suggestions and a lot of different explanations for how to translate in different situations. Checking manual is split up similarly. There's the first part and the second part, and it basically explains the rationale behind checking, why we check, and then also it gives kind of a how-to of how to do a level 1 check, how to do a level 2 check, how to do all the different component parts of those individual checks. The next section then is the technology manual, and that deals with obviously the technology parts, a lot of the mobile apps, so Translation Studio and the Unfolding Word app and Door 43 and other tools that we have, and how to use them. So practicals of how to create a username and password, how to upload something from Translation Studio, all sorts of those little individual pieces of how to actually use the tools. That's all included in the tutorials then are in the technology manual. And the one that I've been working on is the process manual. So this is a step-by-step, all the way back to the beginning, from choosing a translation platform to how to get it installed, to all the different steps, to actually then doing the translation. What do you do when you're done with the translation? How do you upload it? And then it'll have an explanation of that. How do you merge that into Door 43? How do you publish something? That was what I was working on today. So I've finished the translation. I want to get it published. What do I do? What's my next step? So that is all then in the process manual. So why does Translation Academy exist? It exists so that the end user or the facilitator will be able to have all of the answers that they need. So if you're in the middle of Africa or wherever, you'll have the training that you need to be able to do a high-quality translation, to check it well, and then also to be able to use the technology that we've created to get it all the way through to publishing and out so that it can be distributed and used by people on the ground. So who's meant to help? I just addressed that one. Where can people access the Translation Academy? It's all on Door 43, door43.org/en/TA. We are looking at possibly next quarter toying with the idea of creating another mobile app for the Translation Academy. If we don't do that, or even if we do that, for sure we will have a PDF again next quarter, where we will be able to access that offline as well. But for now, it's all on Door 43. Leo, that's what I got.
Very cool, Ben. Can you toss that link on the general channel, just in case anybody wants to check it out? Okay. So a big part of what we're doing at this upcoming workshop in October, if you're coming to that, will be a deeper dive into Translation Academy, and Harry will actually be doing some of that. Harry, you joined the call. Did you have anything to add to what Ben just said, or anything you want to update right now?
No, I think Ben did a great job. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the workshop and helping everybody to get their hands into the tools that we've been creating. So I've been working on some of the materials for that. So I'm looking forward to it.
Very cool. Okay, so lastly, we have Dave Byron, who's running the Point on the Gateway Languages initiative. And Dave, do you have? Looks like you're in the car. Hopefully the signal's all right. Go ahead.
All right, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
All right. Yeah, no, the last 7 days have been phenomenal. Real quick, before I do lose a signal potentially, We've seen the Gateway Language Director for Africa get back from a 2-week trip in Ghana. So it's been tremendous to see the relationships that he was developing, talking about people that he met, partners, Bible translation partners, who heard about Door 43 and Translation Studio and what Wycliffe Associates was involved in. He says they were eager. They can't wait to hear more. And on the way home, we were talking about crafting a note for that. The Gateway Language Director team is in the process of finishing up their tactical plans for the next 30, 60, 90, tracking all the work that's being done offline. And it's been phenomenal to see when we talk about the Door 43 site and the way it works so well together with Translation Studio. 2 days ago, I was sitting next to a guy from Brazil who brought back with him one of the languages in Brazil that you...
Uh-oh. That's all we're going to get out of Dave today.
And Translation Studio.
Hey, Dave, we're having trouble. We're having trouble with your signal. I don't know. Maybe last time we heard of Brazil. Try one more time. If it doesn't work again, we're going to cut you off.
Okay, so you can't hear me now.
We can hear you now, but go ahead from the Brazil. You were talking about Brazil.
Yeah, we just had a tribal language from Brazil finish the 50 Bible stories in the Translation Studio app and uploaded it to Door 43. Ben and Jesse have been working like crazy getting the material that was translated in the Topisan in New Guinea up and visible to see the way the platform is making it possible for these translations to be up and visible and shared.
Very cool.
So those are some of the highlights.
Cool. That's great to hear, Dave.
Did you get that?
Yeah, we got most of it, but that's going to have to be the last we get from you because your car signal is very limited.
Sorry about that. I should roll the window down.
All good. That's going to be it for us for today. Catch up with us on Slack for other questions, and we'll see you again next week.